Thespians, as a heart-to-heart, if there's one thing you're ever going to take out of this vlog, is to get your life together. When I mean together, I mean your sheet music. What up, my thespians? It's the Broadway hipster. So as the story goes, I asked all of you on the Twitter, what would you like to see on this week's vlog? And apparently a lot of you voted for how to pick an audition song. And don't get me wrong, I can see why. Such as Exhibit A. Every single one's an audition question, 200 plus. Choosing an audition song is an extremely daunting task. Especially when you A, don't even know a big vocabulary of musical theater songs, and B, if you don't even know your voice that well. As much as I would love to tell you what audition song you could sing and epically ace it and take all the credit for it, we're not gonna do that here because once my mama wisely and nicely said to me,
"You gotta learn it on your own."
That and the fact that your vocal teacher or any sort of guidance person like that are not always around, and you kind of have to think of things last minute if you've been put in those situations before. So I'm going to share with you guys my top 5 tips on how to pick an audition song. Before I go any further with this video, I would like to put this as a disclaimer. If you follow all of these tips, in no way, shape, or form, this will guarantee you the role that you are auditioning for. Starting off with tip point 5. Is there a tip point 5? No one knows, so we're gonna make up a tip point 5 because it sounds more professional and sounds like I know what I'm talking about. Do you see where I'm getting at here? So basically, this tip isn't really considered one in the sense that it's not really part of the audition. It's more like in general for a thespian's knowledge. But I do find out of all the things I'm gonna say after this tip is the most important and crucial ever. It doesn't even apply to auditions. It helps you so much. And let me explain what it is. It's very simple. Researching musicals, the most boring yet so important one ever in the history of the planet, and the bane for my own existence. Yep, researching musicals. As boring as it may seem, the good thing is, A, you get to show up to all your thespian friends how much you know about all these shows that no one has ever heard of before, and B, it actually makes it so much more easier for you to pick songs. It's really similar to when you go into a library. Would you rather have a big selection to choose from different genres and different subcategories and stuff like that, or just this little rack which basically includes 3 books? Most likely those 3 books are Phantom, Les Mis, and Wicked. Something that everyone knows. When I mean expand your horizon about different musicals, I literally do not mean try to memorize every Wikipedia article of every single musical that was put onto Broadway. Please don't do that. You will hurt your brain. I tried that. It didn't really end so well. Lesson learned. Don't do it. When I mean moderate, I mean that it gives you a wide enough selection to choose from, and it doesn't confine you to those top 3. Although I know you and me, we all love it, you kind of need to open up your horizon a bit. Just a little bit, to the point where you have a decent amount of know-how songs. Okay? And yeah, I will point out myself as well. Pre-Broadway hipster, I was that girl who knew majority of the top musicals. It got me somewhat far, but it didn't really give me a nice selection to choose from, and I always ended up picking the same audition song as like 1 or 2 people every single time, and I was really trying to avoid that. But now having this know-how of all these other songs, I was able to pick and choose, and I always like a good selection. I mean, who doesn't love a good selection, eh? So basically, in short, if you have free time, look up past shows, look up present shows, look up ones that will be in the future or demos or anything like that. With that know-how, that can always have you a step ahead from the rest. Okay, just for all these tips, we're gonna make a fake audition call scenario. Let's say I wanted to audition for the leading player in Pippin the Musical. I have the range of Patina Miller. I don't have that. All these crazy acrobatic tricks because I'm so flexible. I don't have that either. I have the whole body for it. Oh, honey, I don't have that at all. I'm sorry. Tip numero uno. Try to find something that's similar to that musical. There is Spamalot, or any like medieval type of musical, that works too. But you can also stray away from that. If it has somewhat of a similar theme going or something like that, that also works as well. For me, personally, I would choose Chicago. I understand Chicago has a totally different musical style to it, but there are some songs could work for audition a song. So if I was going to pick something from a similar musical, I would pick When You're Good to Mama, that Mama Morton song. Tip numero 2. Finding a similar character. The leading player has sort of the sly quality, master of ceremonies. I'm thinking of the Mad Hatter from Wonderland the Musical. The reason why I picked that is because both characters do have motives, they both want that power, and at the same time they both have that sly quality, and also they have very similar song styles, which is basically the third tip. In Pippin, the leading player's main song is called Magic to Do, which sort of has this jazzy quality to it. In Wonderland, the Mad Hatter's theme song is, well, Mad Hatter, which is also this jazzy song, but it's a little more up-tempo, a little more brassier than Pippin's, but it's still, they work together pretty well, and they equally show off their voices just as well. So for tip number 3, if you are auditioning for a character and you know that their main song is just a beautiful ballad, try to find another beautiful ballad that will complement it instead of something going totally left field and picking a high energy tap dance number or a comedic speaking monologue dialogue number that you shouldn't really be using, but hey, it's perfect for, let's say, if you're gonna do Godspell or something. I don't judge. Tip number 4, using songs from the same composer. For this tip, I do not really suggest it, nor do I ever use it or recommend it, just for the reason of usually composers like to venture off into different avenues, and they usually tackle other musicals that are totally different from what they've previously done, so they just have a big diversity and they're able to write different musical styles. But every once in a while you have those couple composers who, regardless on what kind of musical they do, they still write in their style, aka Andrew Lloyd Webber, perfect example. You can take Memory from Cats the Musical, a musical about cats, use that song and audition it for a starving actress role in Sunset Boulevard, and it will still work. Tip number 5. Let me say, this is the ultimate last resort. This is what you go to when you're in literal desperate need. More than tip number 4. Picking a song that the original artist has done. So in this case, Patina Miller technically, well, in the revival, originated the leading player. So I would pick probably something from Sister Act, maybe not, or some other musical she has done, or a song she has covered, something like that. That's like the literal last minute, or you just really can't find a song, that is what you resort to. Hope this video helps you out currently right now if you're going through an audition, or if you have one in the upcoming future-ish. I know there's gonna be fall auditions, don't worry. I got you, I thought of this. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to follow the Broadway Hipster on Twitter and Instagram. And remember, don't make drama, save for the stage.